Okay. Awal adjustment. Again, this is something I find Christians and many other religious people attacking Islam. They basically they just learn 2-3 things about Islam and they say, look, your Islam has weakness. So alhamdulillah, we should know a few basic things and be able to refute them, right? At least some basic knowledge. So what they basically say is that, okay, your Quran has all these fractions, you give 1/3, 2/3 and all these fractions, and they say, okay, if you add up all these numbers, it doesn't match up to 1. If you add all these fractions, it doesn't match to 1. It doesn't make it 100%. So you have a flaw. So you don't really have an answer for it. So your Islam is not a perfect religion. That's what they go on and attack religion. But let's see what really Islam is all about and how scholars give interpretation of this. So in this particular case, in Awal case, when you give all the prescribed shares, it actually exceeds 1, right? If you give half and another 2/3, half and 2/3 is basically, it's more than 1, right? So you're crossing 100%. So what do you do in that case? You reduce the fractions proportionately. And I'm going to give an example how that's going to happen. So in this case, this is a perfect example of Awal adjustment, an Awal case. You have husband alive, mother alive, and daughters alive. So what's going to happen? How much is going to husband get? Husband is probably going to get 1/4. Yeah, if he didn't have a daughter, he will get half. But since daughter is alive, he will get quarter. And mother is 1/6 because of the daughter. Otherwise, she will get 1/3. And daughters here, more than 2 daughters. So that will be 2/3, right? So how much is it going to be if you add up everything? It's coming out to be 108%. Well, how can you divide now, right? So that's what Christians and other missionary groups who don't like Islam, they just jump up and say, look, you have a flaw in your religion. It's not coming out to be 100%. So it's very clear from the ahadith and from various ijtihad of our beloved scholars that what are we supposed to do in these cases? So what we do is, we just don't take 8% away and give it sadaqah or anything. What we do is we reduce everybody's fraction little bit so that it becomes 100%. Okay, and we don't take equal amounts from everybody because some of them are getting more and some of them are getting less. So we cannot take equal reduction from everybody. We have to reduce it proportionately. So it's just a math fraction. If you're good in math, maybe you have done it in your school or high school. It's what happens is you basically take this numerator, right, 13 by 12, which is the problematic it exceeds 12. So what you do is all these fractions, 312, 212, 812, you remove the 12 and you replace with this 13. So now it all becomes 100%, right? 313, 213, 813. So what are you doing basically here is that you are reducing the fractions proportionally. You are supposed to be 100%, but you're 108. So all fractions are reduced proportionately and it becomes 100%. Again, you have all calculators. You don't have to worry. Websites are going to take care of you. I'm just giving this example to let you know that if somebody tells you that your Islam is not perfect, just tell them we have a way of doing this and this is how we do it. Okay. The reverse, the opposite of this is when you don't have 100% if you add up everybody's share. So that fraction is less than 1. So what do we do under that case? In this case, you increase everybody's share proportionately. Okay. So in this case, just let's take an example of this. So when a person died, the one who is alive is mother and a daughter. That's it. Nobody else is alive. So how much does the mother get now? Mother gets 1/6. By the way, this mother is not the daughter of these are different. Again, there's a grandchildren basically. Mother is here and daughter is here. Okay, whenever I mention relationship is always based on this deceased person. So this mother we are talking about and this daughter. Okay, so this mother gets 1/6 share. Okay, and this daughter, she gets half. Why doesn't she get 2/3?
Nobody else to share.
Because there's only one daughter, right? If there were 2 daughters, she will get 2/3. right? Things will be easy. But now, 1/6 and 1/6 and half, how much does it come out? 4/6, right? Which is like 66%. So now what do? We have how much left? Some 33% left, or 2/3 left. What are we going to do with that? Who are we supposed to give? Uncle, cousin, male? If these people were alive, we will just give them because they are residual shares holder, right? So, but in this case, nobody is alive. The only people who are alive is the mother and the daughter. So now what do? Just give it to Uncle Sam? No, we can't do that. We can't even give to masjid for that matter, because now when we say inheritance, you have to be very careful. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to donate. No, you have to give the right of everybody. Even if the fractions don't match, we try to make it match by proportionately increasing all fractions. So in this case, we just do exactly the same thing what we did in the previous step. So what we do is that in this case, we take the numerator and we replace the denominator with those values. So we just keep everything same, but this 6 goes away and this 4 comes in. So that's basic math. Basically, this is how we say proportionate increase. You just swap it with numerator and denominator. Now you have 1/4 and 3/4, 100%. That's how it all comes about.